What's going on, guys? Austin here, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at both lines of the week. We're going to get started with the Week 12 recap. Not gonna lie, this one it could have been better. Um, so to start off, we have the over/unders. I'm unbelievably pissed with the Giants-Cowboys game for no reason other than just to spite me. Down what was it? Down 16? No, it was down 15 points. The Giants decided to put one useful drive together at the end of the game, and they scored a late touchdown, pushing the over hard on this one, which just unbelievably infuriated me. They were clearly out of the game, but they just said, "You know what? F Austin. We're gonna take his money," which just so mad about that. Dolphins at Texans, not the way that I expected it to go, but still went under. Broncos and Panthers, Chiefs at Rams, exactly the way I expected them to go. And then the Raiders at Seahawks, it was just the Seahawks run defense was just atrocious, and the Raiders scored way more points than I thought they'd be able to. On this side, Seahawks, I thought they were gonna win and cover. Colts, I thought they were gonna win and cover. Both of those teams lost clearly. My underdogs were spot on. No, the Chargers, they toyed and they toyed and they messed around with losing this game, until the final minute when they won. They won by 1 point on the 2-point conversion. So overall, a 500 week, which puts me at 46, 58, and 1 on the season. Not great, but we're still close to 500 with 10 bets a week. It's really hard to recover from, say a bad week. Like I think I had a 2-8 week. But we're going to get started taking a look at these over-unders. What I like here, Buffalo at New England. Buffalo, their offense does not score as well on the road, and their defense is a lot better on the road. New England, same thing here. Home, they're heavy unders. This is a 14-point under shift right here. Now, I don't think that this game is going to be a 30-point total, but look for this under to hit. Denver at Baltimore. Now it's another low over/under, 38.5. But both teams are 4-1 hitting the under in this situation. Denver on the road, Baltimore at home. Denver on the road is under 5.5, while Baltimore at home is under 2.5. So again, I mean, this right here, that's 8-point swing. Is this going to be a 30-point game? I don't know, but this one should hit the under pretty strong. Jacksonville at Detroit. This was one of my favorite plays of the week. Jacksonville's defense does not travel well. And Detroit, while their defense has improved, it still isn't it's still not the 85 Bears. So over 51.5. I mean, what I think I'm looking at is like a 32 to 25, 32 to 27 maybe. So like we're razor thin right there, but Jacksonville, they're 4-1, hitting the over on the road with an average of 5.6. Well, Detroit is 4-2, hitting the over at home with an average of 10.5 points, covering that spread. Washington at the Giants. Now, I don't really like this game on a spread, but I think it's safe to say the under is going to hit. Now, Taylor Heinicke has just been living off of playing bad defenses and getting lucky as far as wins, but this isn't about wins. This is just about points. So the Washington Commanders are 4-2, betting the under on the road with an average of 2.6 under, and the New York Giants are 4-2 on the under with an average of 2.3 points. So that is, it's a total right there of 5 points under. Both teams combined, they're 8-4, which is, I mean, all that's good record right there. And then my final is an under in the Indianapolis at Dallas Cowboys game. Indianapolis away is a 5-1 record, hitting the under with an average of minus 11.3 points, while Dallas is 4-2 with an average of minus 3.4. So, I mean, really, that's a huge, huge swing. Not quite as big as a swing as the Detroit-Jacksonville game, but, I mean, what you're looking at right there is about 14 points. Hitting the under, which do I think this is going to be a 29-point game? Probably not, but neither of these teams really instill confidence in me that they can score. The only way that the over hits is if there's a some random defensive score that really pushes everything over the limit. So What I like for the spreads right here is Detroit at home, going to be plus 1.5. I think they're going to win the game outright. Now, obviously, I wouldn't bet them, plus 1.5 if I didn't think they could win the game outright. They're 4-2 at home against the spread, covering it by 3.6 points. Jacksonville away is 1-4 against the spread, but they're a plus 4.8, which means that since that Chargers game where they won, I think it was like 38-10, they haven't covered a single spread on the road. They've been a bad road team outside of, I think it was week 2, maybe week 3. And if that game isn't there, they're hitting the under on the points per game, crazy on that against the spread. Now the Browns -7 at Houston. This is really just going to play into the strength of the Browns. The Browns run game is, one of the 5 best in the league, and the Houston run defense is one of the 5 worst in the league. Cleveland away, they're 2-2 against the spread, failing to reach that number by about 4 points. I don't really take much account into Cleveland's pass stats. They've got Deshaun Watson now. He's one of the best players in the league. But Houston at home is 2-3 against the spread, failing to reach that number by 2.3 points. So I like the matchup, and I just like getting the better team, to win by a touchdown. Seahawks -7.5. It's crazy. Before the season, if you would have told me that the Browns are the same level of better than the Texans as the Seahawks are than the Rams, I would have called you a liar. But Seattle on the road is 3-2 against the spread, covering that spread by about 5 points. And the Rams at home are 1-5 against the spread, failing to reach that number by about 12 points. So right here, again, you're looking at about a 17-point swing, maybe 16.5. And Seattle, they're just coming off of an embarrassing loss, but it's against a team that can run the football. Now, the Rams don't run the football very well, and honestly, right now, they don't really do anything very well. Running the football might be the strength of the team now that Allen Robinson and Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford are out. But I just look for the far superior team and just, lay the 7.5. 49ers -3.5 versus Miami. Now, San Francisco at home is 3-2 against the spread, covering that number by 1.3. That's not really why I'm doing this, because San Fran has just kind of been a very, I wouldn't say mediocre, but they've just been barely hovering over their wins, whereas Miami on the road is not a good team. They're 2-3 against the spread, failing to reach that number by 5.5 points per game. That's what I'm looking at right here, because that shift is, a 6-point shift, 6, almost 7-point shift between those two teams. So I like the 49ers to beat Miami by over a field goal. And then the Chargers, another favorite at the Raiders. The Chargers are 5-1 against the spread on the road. It's still by the thinnest of margins. But they keep winning on the road, and they're winning close. So that's why I'm not afraid of that 1.5. If it would have been a full field goal, I wouldn't have touched it, but 1.5 is a good look. Now the Raiders at home, they're 2-2 against the spread, which just average, failing to reach that number by 0.8 points, meaning that they're basically exactly average at home. Now, while the Chargers are a little bit better on the road, I also think they're just a better team, and so I like them to win by more than here. All right, guys. Thanks for watching that video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and stay up to date on all of our future content.